Welcome to
Welcome.
Shady and the City. I am your girl Treese,
It's Nels.
and today we are here to get into part two of the Love and Marriage Huntsville, the number one city in America. I ain't said it in a while. Number one city in America. So, I was just telling Nels I wasn't here for Miss Betty being here. I was actually live tweeting. I forgot I was doing this Saturday, but that's how the days just turn into each other with snow and all this other stuff. And I've been home so long, I completely forgot that I was live tweeting Saturday. So shout out to the X Twitter squad chasing for being there with me and us popping our stuff. But yeah, we just really wasn't here for Miss Betty. So let's not talk about it. Let's be about it. Let's get into it. Let's get. So now Tisha has revealed to us that Kiki and Amin have been cheating on each other their whole marriage. Kiki admits that there were infidelities on both sides, and Tisha then spills about her paying for him to go on a date with another girl when they first got together. And so the whole cast is confused because they was like, you was making it seem like she knew because what Kiki lets us know,
Like you actually paid for him to go on a date.
right?
Like you bought a prostitute or something.
Right. What Kiki lets us know is that she gave him some money when they first started dating.
I
Struggled,
guess earlier that day she said he asked for some money. Then
build a
that
boo,
evening he found
and
out he was on a
and,
date.
and yeah, and she went a slant and in Kiki fashion. I'm sure she went off, right?
Mm-hmm.
So once they get past that, Tisha says that she's no dummy, and Kiki explains. Oh, I said that. So then Tisha brings up that the reason why she wasn't speaking to Kiki, she goes and gets her documents and says the reason why she wasn't speaking to Kiki at Kimmy's barbecue was because that the alleged information about Marceau cheating, what Kiki brought it to her, but she was like, let's get us all on the phone. Let's talk about it, whatever. And then I guess the person that was spewing this information, this is how I understood it. Correct me if I'm wrong, Nels.
I think he wanted to get them on a three-way, and Kiki was the one that didn't.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So Kiki was having side conversations, trying to get up all the info. And they really feel like she was just doing this so she could use it to come on the show and fire against them because she has no storyline and she doesn't want to talk about her life.
And
And
really, it sounded like from what Tisha was saying, she wasn't even trying to get the whole story. She was just like, tell me what dirt you have on Marcel.
so it sounds like she was just trying to, she wanted to, she's being a Robin right now. She wants to ignore her husband cooking for other women.
She ain't ignored. Tisha the one ignoring it. She ain't ignored. She's acknowledged it.
Okay.
She said she knew what happened. And she said, and I decided to put up with it.
So then basically Carlos asked Kimmy and Mel if they think Tisha's in denial about Marceau cheating, and I thought this was actually a very cute moment.
I thought it was
These
hilarious.
moments between Kimmy and Mel, where Mel's like,
Said, go
"You
on,
go,
Kimmy.
Kimmy,
She said, go on, Kimmy.
go,
Yeah,
Kimmy.
you, Mel.
And yeah, you go after you, Mel." And finally, they both say that there's been no hardcore evidence that they know of, or anybody has been able to.
Kimmy said that first because I don't think that's what Mel wanted to say, but she felt after Kimmy said it that might have been the right answer. You know what?
Right.
They got a family. They've been together for a long time. She wants something concrete.
Right. And so Carlos asked Kiki why she thinks Tisha is dumb. Kiki says Tisha knows her and wonders why she thinks that she would just go around spreading these random rumors about her and her family if they.
Marcel said to be relevant on TV. Kiki said, I've been here. I've been relevant. Didn't hit the same like how when Stormy said it. Because we ain't know who you was, boo.
We didn't.
So then they get into Kiki's battle with addiction and her erratic behavior. They asked Tisha and Marceau if they think she was on any substances at that time. Marcel said, yeah. And Tisha said she still is. She said just last year, she was just talking to me about how she was in the car with a drug dealer that she stole money from to buy the substances from. She used his money to get the substance. Kiki said, no, girl, that wasn't last year. That was 5-6 years ago.
About a week ago.
Look, Marcel basically said, no, boo, your time is running together. That wasn't that long ago. Okay? That's what happens when you're in a daze, all right? Now everyone else on the panel feels that initially they didn't think that it was due to any substance, but Kimmy says yes. Initially she thought that wasn't the case, but then in hindsight she says she remembers her being jittery and sweaty. Listen, I'm not gonna say that the girl wasn't on drugs, okay? But what I'm gonna say is she was on 10.
Mm-hmm.
That will make your blood boil, that will make you jittery. And y'all are in Huntsville, Alabama. It's hot as hell.
Was it just me?
But I also feel like she said the methadone makes her sweat, didn't she?
Yeah. Was it just me, or I felt like this moment was a little bit, and I know a lot of people felt that way. This moment was not meant for this show. And what I mean is, we're not on intervention. If we were on intervention and we were doing this and we were having this conversation, but I felt like for Kiki being newly recovered and just coming out, like I felt like this really could have been a trigger for her. Like them.
But that's why it's on this show and not intervention, because intervention would know that it's a trigger. This show doesn't give a damn and they want it for entertainment.
Woo! Well, you said it, I did.
So then Carlos brings up the fact that Kiki admitted to being on methadone, but the test results showed that you were negative for methadone. So they went back and forth a little bit about that. And Mel, she was like, let me clear this up right now. Okay. Because what we're not going to do is put my name in this about a test that I gave her. Okay. She said Kiki didn't know nothing about the test. There was no, because I think Marcel tried to say maybe she brought some like fake piss or something like that. Mm-hmm. She said Kiki was
somebody else's urine is what he said.
Yes. So, so basically she said that she was not aware that she would be taking the test. Plus her and production went in the bathroom when she was taking the test. So there was no one else's urine that she used. Now, Carlos asked her, when was the last time she used any hard drugs? She said she ain't never used no hard drugs. She said the only drug she's ever used was Percocet. And that was years ago. Marceau starts getting into how she was actually using hard drugs and how he used to have to come pick her up off the side of the road. I don't know about this whole side of the road thing. He'd be making it sound like she was just out there.
Right. No, but it didn't make it any better when she was like, well, that's because Amin took my keys and left me on the side of the road. And Marcel's like, say that again. Say that again. So your husband took your keys and left you on the side of the road.
I don't know. It was given, I had to pick her up after work. Whatever street corner she was on is what it was sounding like. So then they basically say that, it confirmed it for them that she was on a substance after they saw her on Crime Stoppers. Now, Kiki said she ain't never denied that it was her on camera.
Kiki has not been found guilty for anything.
She said she never denied that it was her on camera. What she is denying is the story
that was attached
to it. She said she will be vindicated. We waiting for it, child. We waiting. Because all we keep on saying is you was not.
Then
everything is alleged. Is all we keep on hearing. Okay. We want to see you vindicated. All right. Now, she said that, you can bet her words that that's going to happen. Marcel said, well, how much you want to bet? Because I'll take that bet. Next, they brought out the Whitlows and Fletchers. Okay. He had Chris stand up and
I don't know why they brought out the Fletchers.
So that he could do his TikTok dance.
Is it? They could have done that when they had their segment.
I think it was on.
What I'm saying is, I feel like they were a decent part of the season, but what you're not going to do is bring them out and then not talk to them for real, give them 2 seconds because we only see them in part 3.
I think he was just trying to give him a little taste. Give him a little taste, you know. Give him a
We
little
gave Miss Betty more time than I feel like we gave the Fletchers. Come on. And Miss Betty wasn't even really bye.
So yeah, he showed Carlos how to do his TikTok dance. Carlos asked Martell if him and Sheree's relationship was real. Now he said it really wasn't a relationship; they were just friends.
He said that was his friend girl.
Then they get into Marcel calling Tiffany a Karen. She said it was very offensive because she's half white and black. Marcel said, he called her a Karen because that's how she acts. It ain't got nothing to do with her being white and black. Lewis said after seeing the scene, he felt like, Tiffany was pretty spot on, but she did add little sauce, just a little sauce. But he says that he doesn't owe anybody any apologies because it shouldn't have took two of them to talk to one woman.
Right.
So Carlos asked, what's the definition of a Karen? Marceau says, someone who is over opinionated and puts their opinion over others.
And I love Luke, like, so that's you.
Yeah, you a Karen. Basically. Then Carlos got into Martell dating Sheree and wants to know if, it's hard for him to date other women since he still has feelings for his ex-wife. Martell said, who the hell told you that?
We talk about this too. I'm tired of us harping on they've been divorced for 3 years. Let's let this go. He's clearly with Ariane. He's not going to admit that he's with Ariane. As Mel said, she's there every day. I'm sorry I want to cut shit because
look, go on, get into them.
Because I feel like they're playing in our face, and at this point, and I'm tired of them trying to trigger Melody, and it's hard enough, as Mel talks about, having her kids around this woman, and like, and y'all keep bringing, like, this is not healthy. This is not own about Black women and trying to empower them at this point, because you're constantly rubbing in her face that the mistress is at home with Martell trying to help raise her kids, and I'm done. I'm done. I know it's real life and it happens, but the fact that you want to keep bringing it up and making it a thing or make it seem like they're going to get back together infuriates me, because Mel has made that very clear.
I don't think they're trying to make it seem like
as far as to change her name.
I don't think they're trying to make it seem like they're going to get back together. I think their point of saying that is basically to show, I don't want to say like she's superior to Coleslaw, but I think they like to constantly remind Martell that he messed up.
Basically, Carlos asked if Martell is in a relationship with his child's mother. Martell gets quiet, but says that he's single. So Marceau asked if she knows that.
Oh yeah, Marceau asked it. Yeah.
And then I think he even says something to the effect of your wife. Does your wife know?
He did. He said your wife. He sure enough did.
Mel says he's lying and brings up how Coleslaw is there every day and around her kids. Martell defends it, and Mel says it does bother her, as we talked about, because she spent so much time trying to come in between their marriage, and DMing Mel. And now the fact that she's around her children is very uncomfortable. Martell says she has nothing to be concerned about and defends Coleslaw as he goes into the 11 babysitters. Yeah, then she basically, Mel said that it's in the court paperwork, after Martell brings up the babysitters, that just like that he was in a business relationship with Sheree. It's in the court document. Martell waddles off stage literally in his tight suit. And
she was talking about the transcript. I don't know what documents he wouldn't got.
But Martell returns with nothing, is what my notes say. Mel calls him the lowest of the lowest scum of the earth. Carlos ends the back and forth between Mel and Martell, but not before Mel tells him recognize how toxic their household was, and that's why she had to beat his ass at times. And I said, well, Mel, that wasn't a very cute. Domestic violence is not cute on either side, baby. But I get it. But it's not cute on either side, but I get it. Because Martell was like, well, where did the man said that?
I think she didn't mean to say that. I think that slipped. But I mean, It's giving
Shadeinthecity does not condone violence.
Carlos was ready to move on and asked Tiffany how she's doing with her struggles of depression. She said that she really didn't think that this was going to be her experience post-ACE. She said it's the hardest thing she's ever had to deal with and the hardest thing they've ever had to deal with in their marriage.
She thought she was going to work and do all the shit.
I'm every woman. No. Basically, Lewis said, at the time she was going through this, it was the midst of his baseball season, but he did notice it when he came home. He thinks that she was in denial about it, and he had to take a pause for a little bit. Now, Carlos wants to know if she's still walking away from the show. She said it was refreshing to have their own space and their normal lives again. She does enjoy the relationships that she's established with everyone. And she said that it wasn't an easy decision. Carlo let her know that she was brave for taking time away for herself because a lot of people don't do that, and says that the doors are always open for her.
Then they bring Stormy's mama, Miss Betty, and her cousin Junior. Betty looks like she came with an attitude, okay?
She was looking pretty though. She was looking nice.
Yeah, she did look nice. Carlos one, even though she has a very hard face. It's like the anger just sits in her face. Carlos wants to get into her disdain for Melody. Miss Betty has always been a fan of the show. Let me make that clear again. Did y'all hear that, Shade Squad? She's a fan of the show. It involves herself in those Facebook groups about the show, and you know how that can get a little off kilter. That's why a lot of people don't even review the show anymore, because y'all fans are a little nutty. So what I've heard, our fans are okay, but I've heard some things. But I love the Marriage Huntsville fans. So she brings up, she feels like Mel knows about what was being posted in the Facebook groups about Stormy and thinks she failed to shut it down. She brings up a tweet Mel made while the show was going live. I think I actually was live during this time. And Mel said something about somebody being in her house and whatever.
And recording her.
And it made it look like it seemed like it was Stormy, based off of the show and the time of events. But Stormy says that Mel didn't say anything until Miss Betty addressed it. Mel asked Stormy, why didn't you just pick up the phone and call and ask me?
Because you weren't talking to me, remember?
So
you needed time to yourself.
She wasn't in contact with Mel. Miss Betty tries to, make Mel fully responsible. This is what I'm going to say. Mel might have, I'm not going to cape for Mel. I do like Mel. Y'all know that. I'm not going to cape for Mel in this instance and say she didn't see it. She's not in, because I'm not involved in those Facebook groups. I don't know. What I am going to say is, I do think that's the equivalent of asking the Barty gang. That's the equivalent of asking Barb's to not go in on someone when they have their mindset that this person is the enemy, not the Beehive. Beyonce can't come in and say, y'all be quiet, leave Carrie Hilson alone.
You cannot compare her to Beyonce, first of all.
But do you understand what I'm saying?
No, because I'm about to shut all that down right now. Okay. What I'm going to say is, first of all, apparently, yes, she said that she understands that you don't need to address fans or whatever. She said this was right under your post. She does believe that she's seen it. Now, even if she didn't see it, I told you what the issue is for me. Because if this is online, it's possible that you didn't see it, right? The issue is for me, when you had your high tea, and I brought it to your attention, you still, at that time, did not say there was a misunderstanding. It was not you. You beat around the damn bush. We are on camera together. And remember, I said, this is the platform for you to say it. This was the time for you to clear the air. They're coming at you about it. You did not clear the air still. So so it gives that you did see it and you ignored it. You didn't give a damn.
Well, to Nelson's point, then Miss Betty goes in on her and tells her she's still, Mel tells her she needs to worry about her family issues. Miss Betty says, you've been arguing with the same man for the last 3 years, and you divorced him. And then, Mel calls her a demon and they end the show. But yeah, y'all, thank you for tuning in to another review of The Love and the Marriage of the Huntsville Part 2. I will say I think that this particular review Part 2 was okay, but I just was not here for us rehashing the same things that we already know. Martell and Mel are not getting back together as long as it's up to Mel. I would have liked to get into a little bit more of Nell and Chris, but I guess that'll be part 3.
I think part of the reason why they constantly remind Martell that they're not getting back together, for one, and for two, that he's the one that messed up, is because he does things like puts on his ring or tries to, meet up with her and open doors and walk her to her car and things like that. Like, so I think this is part of the reason why they keep on doing this Mel and Martell thing, because it's not Mel, it's Martell. And they have to keep on reminding him, sir,
Oh yeah, Mark. I noticed Carlos kept saying, "You're not over your marriage. You still love Mel." It wasn't the other way around.
Mhm.
It was definitely.
So I think they want to keep reminding him, you did this. This is your fault.
Because they want him to take accountability, and he still hasn't. I think we'll end it on that note. If you haven't already, Shade Squad, please make sure that you hit that like button.
Make sure you comment
You subscribe.
and hit the notification bell.
Make sure you're following us on all the platforms, the TikTok, the Twitter, the Facebook, and the IG. Got some good things coming for y'all. Restaurant Week in DC. So we're gonna have some little things for y'all. So make sure y'all tune in. And yeah, y'all, we love y'all. Stay tuned, and we will catch you next week for part 3. And I'm actually really ready to see Love and Marriage DC at this point. I'm ready to put Huntsville to bed and take a little break on him. So yeah. We'll catch y'all next week for part 3 of Love and Marriage Huntsville. Have a good night.
Good night.
Bunch of like